Good morning. Hope you had a nice evening and you're feeling ready to start the day with a little bit of yoga. The pool opened at Michigan Shores Club today, so I know that there are a lot of happy people. And I know I'm feeling ready to move. So let's find ourselves in a comfortable seated position. Check in with your hips. Maybe make adjustments with your feet or the cross of your ankles. And maybe if it feels uncomfortable today, maybe one knee is feeling a little unsupported, you can always use your blocks and place them under your knees for a little extra stability and comfort in your hips. Without that, so I can feel right now that my groin, my inner, right at the ridge of my hips, just relaxed. It doesn't have to hold to keep my knees up. So you can always find ways to support yourself to make it easier for you to sit. I think many of us know that the birth of yoga is really just that opportunity to make our bodies comfortable with long periods of sitting and meditating. So the idea is finding a way to sit comfortably and listen. Listen to your body, listen to the environment that surrounds you, but mainly being able to take a moment to go inward and concentrate on the choices that we make. I'm sure many people have heard that meditation is good for you, for your body, and I find that meditation's power is the space that it gives you in time. Things just don't feel like they come at you quite as fast throughout the day when you take a moment or two to meditate. So let's start with our palms together and just gently nod your chin towards your chest. Reminding yourself to only move in ways today that feel right for your body. And remind yourself to listen. And if something doesn't feel right, go inward, reconnect, or just slow down and listen to your breath. All right. So let's go ahead and start our practice today on our backs. I'm going to use blocks today, and I'm also going to use a strap. So as you prepare to transition yourself to your mat, just look around and make sure that you have access to things that will either aid with bringing the floor closer to you, which would be the blocks, or B, make it easier for you to grab onto your own body parts. If your legs are too long or your arms are too short or whatever the things are that we discover about ourselves as we move. So lower yourself down and let's take a moment or two to scan and connect with our breath. So let your toes turn out. Let your palms open towards the ceiling and just receive the information that your body's giving to you right now. Check in, relax. It's always good to start with awareness of your breath. And as we move throughout the class, it may become obvious that it's hard to stay tuned into your breath, and that's okay. But we're here to listen. So if you're moving without your breath awareness, just stop, slow down, and start again. So right now, with your shoulders resting, your hips resting, your heels resting, you can be able to watch your belly. You can be able to watch your ribs. So as you inhale fully, you'll sense your ribs expand. Maybe they're towards the ceiling or maybe they're expanding into the floor beneath you, and pay attention. And then as you exhale, you can sense your belly button drop down towards the floor, soften towards the floor. And maybe you can even sense a slight lift up as your diaphragm is moving to push the air out of your lungs.
And then thinking again about your diaphragm as you inhale, your diaphragm is drawing down or helping making space for your lungs to expand to fill. And your exhale has your diaphragm lifting up. Sometimes it's hard to pay attention to multiple details that are going on just through our mind's eye, but see if you can just watch and listen. Good. All right, let's place the soles of your feet flat to the floor. Notice all 10 toes connecting with the floor. Notice your heels pushing through the floor. And we're gonna move with our breath. So as you inhale, I'd like you to lift your arms up and over your head and lift your hips up. So we're gonna go straight into a motion of bridging. And as you exhale, your vertebrae are gonna slowly reconnect with the floor and fall back to the mat with your hands returning back to the sides of your body. Your inhale helps your hips lift, your arms lift up and over your head. And then as you again begin your exhale, your belly button's drawing down towards the floor, your fingertips are moving towards the floor. So please move at your own pace. You don't need to follow me, just move slowly and with care. Take your time. And help yourself explore your spine. So as we were earlier, letting our mind's eye show us our diaphragm, now let your mind's eye show you your vertebrae, slowly either descending back down to the mat or slowly lifting up and peeling away from the mat. Good. With your next exhale, we're going to stay. So when we'll all meet there with our hands to the floor and our feet to the floor. And then we're going to place the soles of our feet together and let our knees go nice and wide. Supta Baddha Konasana. So your knees are nice and wide, palms are open. Again, taking a few moments here to receive the information that you're sensing in your body. So I can sense here on my left hip that it's a little bit tight, and I'm gonna bring some awareness to letting go. So any tightness that I feel in my groin, I'm just gonna slowly start to unravel, maybe bring a little bit of my attention of my movement of my breath to this area. So the expansion of my inhale is full through my rib cage, and then the fullness of my exhale is helping me to release and letting my hips go. My knees feel nice and wide. Good. With our next exhale, we're going to draw our knees back towards the midline. Good. And then we're going to inhale and open. So let those knees release into the floor, towards the floor. And then exhale and open, close. Good. Inhale, open. Feel that expansion, openness. And then exhale, close. One more time, inhale and open. Turning the strength on in the center of your core as you exhale and close your knees back in towards the midline. Good, now place your feet as wide as your mat, making your arms out into a T. And let's just gently rock our knees from side to side. This is bringing some awareness to our low backs, to our hips. And maybe even in your mind's eye, you can sense where the head of your femur is connecting with your pelvis. And you can sort of watch how it moves as you tip gently from side to side, maybe even in sensing a little massage in the flesh of your rear. Good. And then with care, let's draw our right knee in towards our chest and give it a nice gentle hug. Good. And with your inhale, send that knee away. With your exhale, bring your knee in towards your chest on your left side. And with your inhale, let that foot lower back down. Good, we're just gonna continue that pattern. Exhaling your thigh in towards your chest. Inhaling your foot back down towards the floor. Exhaling your thigh in towards your chest. Inhaling your return back. Good, one more on each side. Exhale your knee in. Inhale out. Exhale. Inhale. Good, with your next exhale, let's bring both knees in towards our chest. So making space for your thighs to connect towards your ribs. And now with our next inhale, let's take our feet toward the ceiling. So reach those heels up and towards the ceiling. And then with your exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest. And then your inhale, your legs go straight. All right. So I'm gonna exhale my thighs in towards my chest, and this time inhale, let my feet go all the way back down to the floor. And I'm gonna be tricky, but you may have made your lives easier. I want you to grab your strap now. So grab your strap wherever it might be, roll yourself over. And let's exhale our right knee in towards our chest and place the strap over your right foot. So that exhale motion is going to continue to stay the same, and as is your inhale, but you're going to hold that strap in your hands to give yourself a little bit of feedback. So with your exhale, you can sense yourself pull that thigh in towards your chest, and with your inhale, push your foot into your strap and lengthen. Good. And sorry, I think I said that opposite. So exhale, your knee goes in, and inhale, your heel reaches towards the ceiling. So the strap is there to give you a little bit more awareness, maybe a little bit more control. For some of us, even just extending our heels towards the ceiling is challenging, and maybe some of you are feeling your leg all the way over here due to lack of flexibility through your hips. So this strap is just going to give us some more feedback. So again, exhaling your knee in towards your chest and inhaling to straight. Good. Pay attention to your toes, pay attention to your feet. Continue at your own breath pattern, continue at your own pace. You and I don't need to be matched. That's not important right now. You're in your own home. You can work in your own rhythm. Good. And then let's hold here with your inhale cycle, letting your heel reach, sensing, create a real moment of awareness in the back side of that right leg. We're inhaling and exhaling naturally here. You don't have to worry about holding out your breath. And I would like us to pay attention now to our foot a little bit. So go ahead and pedal your foot like you were pushing the gas or the brake in your car. Point that toe towards the ceiling. So maybe you have more of a sense of the front side of your leg as you point that toe towards the ceiling. And then I want you to reach those toes towards your shins. So if you want to make this in line with your breath again, you can inhale and point your toe towards the ceiling, lengthening. Good, and then the exhale is that flexion or dorsiflexion of bringing your toes towards your shins. So you may feel, surprisingly, even though we're working through our feet, you may feel this deeply in the socket of your hip as your head of your femur settles more deeply towards the floor. So again, point that toe. Good, lengthening the front side of your shin, and then pull those toes towards your shins. Good. One more cycle or two, maybe if this feels good, maybe if you feel like you need this because you do a lot of sprinting or a lot of running and you need a little more attention for your shins, just stay here if you need to. Good. So now with your next inhale, I'm going to ask us to hold tight to your strap and just let that heel fall out to the side. I don't want anybody to feel like this is a gymnastics class and we're going into our deepest split and I'm watching you to see how flexible you are and you're going to be the star of the class. This doesn't matter. You will find that as you tip your heel over the side and keep that awareness of your hip and your femur and your leg in your socket, you don't need to go very far to sense a stretch. And then if you pay attention to your breath, if you sense that full inhale and a long, slow exhale, you can also sense that connection a little bit more clearly. So stay and watch. And again, let's pay attention to our feet. So with our exhale, our toes are drawing towards our shins. And then with your inhale, point that toe away. Maybe you can sense it even more actively through the quad on your when your toes out to the side. And then again, inhale, draw your toes towards your shins. And exhale, inhale, point. All right. With your next exhale, draw your thigh back in towards the midline. Nice. All right. Let the your belly button soften as you release your low back down towards the floor. Release the weight of your hip into the floor. And we'll take this strap away from your right foot. Exhaling, bringing your left knee in towards your chest and place the strap over your left foot. Good. I apologize because I just went through that whole right leg cycle. If you don't have a strap, you can be doing this just by holding onto your leg or holding onto your pant. So grabbing the back side of your leg or grabbing your pant. So again, let's imagine that connection of the big head of your femur settling and resting in that pelvic region. Good. And just sense that length with your great inhale. Fill your lungs, and with your exhale, let your knee, bring your knee into your chest. So we're going through this cycle again. So the inhale is the lengthening or pushing that foot into the floor or the ceiling above you. Good. And the exhale is drawing that knee in towards your chest. Inhale and lengthen. Good. Maybe you sense that your left side is tighter than your right, or maybe you know that your right is always tighter than your left. But just explore. And explore too, what's the difference between when you feel that your foot is active versus when your foot is just sort of hanging out in your strap. See if you can sense the power of your movements by just watching one part of your body connecting with the movement. Or maybe just pay attention to your knee. Is your knee always falling out to the right, the left side? Or does it track towards the midline? What is it doing? Just check in, watch your own body, see what you can learn, and see if by making small little changes, how it changes your movement. Good. All right, so now we're gonna, again, inhale to straight and then be aware of our feet. So the exhale stage is that pulling your toe towards your shins, and the inhale is the lengthening or pointing your toes towards your shin, towards the ceiling. Good. And again, moving at your own pace. Again, being willing to watch what feels like you need to spend a little more time at. And that's perfect. That's the great opportunity of taking the time to take a class or taking the time to just have a half an hour for yourself as you can explore yourself, right? You don't have to worry about what I'm doing. You just worry about what you're feeling and what makes most sense for your body. And, oh, great, nice long line. Obviously, I'm appreciating staying here with my toes pointed. Be mindful of maybe having some cramping, and always remind yourself to drink lots of water, stay hydrated. And now let's go ahead and do with the inhale phase, take that foot out to the side. And keep in mind again that I'm not trying to get my foot all the way to the floor, because when I go all the way to the floor, my right hip lifts off the floor. I don't need to go all the way to the floor. I want to keep my hips grounded in the floor, take it out to the side. Doesn't matter, this is not a competition of whose leg goes wider. So again, pay attention to your breath. So exhaling, pulling your toes in towards your shins. And the inhale, we're lengthening. Exhale, pull your toe in towards your shin. And inhale, lengthening. Good. Take 2 or 3 more breaths here. And when you come upon your next exhale, go ahead and draw that knee back in towards your midline. Good. All right. We can take our strap off for now, and we'll put it to the side. We're going to tip ourselves over and head towards all fours. So remember some of the wisdom that we were harvesting there, for lack of a better word, is the awareness of our feet and how they're connecting with our movement and what we feel. So let's do a little bit of that wisdom here now. So I have my toes tucked under, and the soles of my feet are shining towards the end of my mat. Be aware of that. And I also am noticing that my heels are falling outside or towards the outer ridges of my mat. I'm going to see about maybe being more on my big toes, so drawing my heels in towards the midline. As I do that, I could sense that I turned on the strength in my core a little bit more mindfully. Good, so even just my heels falling out made me a little bit less active. And with my heels drawing slightly more in, made me a little bit more present on the mat. So spy on yourself. Pay attention to the things that we do to help ourselves slip away from awareness. Good. So again, let's go to that place where we can sense the inhale that's filling our lungs and making us expand through all of the surrounding area of our chest. So the front, the sides, and the back. And then how the exhale softens your belly button towards your spine and creates a little bit of length in your low back. I'm going to be dramatic now. So the inhale is going to help me float my heart center forward. And the exhale is going to help me lift my back towards the ceiling as my belly button is drawn back behind me. My inhale is helping me float forward. And again, I can see my heels are falling outward. I'm going to try to keep them active so I can continue to stay tuned in. Belly button draws towards the spine as I reach the fullness of my back towards the ceiling. Inhale. Good. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. So we'll inhale here and then exhale, keeping your toes tucked under, draw your belly button and lift yourself towards the down dog position. So make whatever adjustments that you need to help this position to be more comfortable for you. We're going to inhale, lower our knees down. Good, let your heart center shine forward. And exhale, draw your belly button towards your spine, push your hips back. Keeping that awareness in your feet, slowly inhale forward, knees lower down. Exhale backward. Good, so this is kind of like what we were doing before. Remember when with the strap in on our foot, we're pushing our foot towards the ceiling. So this same action of pushing your foot towards the floor helps you to lengthen, right? So we're opening or lengthening our legs, pushing them into the floor and feeling the length throughout our body. The inhale is the bend here in this action. And the exhale, we're straightening and then walking our hands all the way back towards your toes behind you. Inhale to halfway up. And then exhale, lower down. And then inhale yourself all the way up to stand. Good, bring your hands to your heart center and pay attention to the space between your shoulders and your ears. Let it be open and full, and step your left foot forward. So our left foot is forward and our back foot is turning inward. It's not out to the side, so we're not turning open this way. The foot is turning, so it's sort of moving towards facing towards the front of your mat. Good. So we are going to exhale and slide your hand down your shin. And inhale, bring yourself back up to stand. Good. Exhale, slide your fingertips down your shin. Good, and inhale, bring yourself up to stand. We're gonna make our way to a position where we can stay with our hands sliding down. So if you know that you would feel best with a block, you can go ahead and grab that block. But again, let's go to exhaling and folding, warming up that hamstring. We've done a lot of opening through the hamstring. Inhale to stand. Good, and here we go. Exhale, sliding down, and here's where we're gonna stay. So if it would feel better to you to have a block here to bring the floor closer to you, that's okay. And then here's our inhale, reaching your fingertip toward the ceiling, opening your heart center. And then with your exhale, I want you to turn your head down towards the floor. With your inhale, turn your gaze toward the ceiling, and exhale towards the floor. So remember, when we were working before, we paid a lot of attention to our feet. Let there be awareness of the wholeness of your foot pushing through the floor, and remembering too the action of your ribs. As you inhale, your ribs are expanding even through the space behind you. What happens when you pay attention to the space behind you? Maybe you feel some wisdom here in your hips. Good. Next, exhale, head goes down. Good. And next, inhale, slide yourself all the way back up to stand. Beautiful. Nice work. Good. All right. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. So I'm going to point my front right leg towards the front of the mat, and my left foot is turning towards the front of the mat also, but it's on an angle. Good. So we're gonna exhale, slide. You can have there be a little gentle bend in your knees so that you're not locking your knees out. And then inhale, bring yourself up to stand. Good. Exhale, slide it down. Inhale, up to stand. Good, again, nicely done. So maybe you can sense some awareness here that we were doing this on our backs, right? So when we took our feet out to the side, we were working the same sort of stretch through our leg. And now with our standing, We're helping ourselves incorporate the movement of our obliques lengthening. Good, so we've been warming up, taking care of our hamstrings, taking care of the power of the base of our foot connecting with the floor. Good, and then here we go. We're gonna exhale, lower ourselves down, stay. Remember, you can have a little gentle bend in that knee. And then with your inhale, reach that left arm towards the ceiling. So remember, the stability in this pose is coming from your inhale and your exhale. The inhale is helping you expand. Maybe as you expand through your ribs, you can sense this motion through this left hip as well, helping you to open. Good, and as you exhale, my attention's going down towards my feet because my exhale is helping me ground my feet into the floor, helping me to stay stable and strong. My inhale is helping me to rotate and open my ribs, open my heart center towards the left side. Good, and again, that awareness of the exhale helps you to ground your feet, your big toe, your left big toe into the floor, power, and then pushing your heel into the floor. Nice. Inhale, open. Exhale, connect to the power of your feet. Good, last one. Inhale, open. Good, exhale, lower your hand down, and inhale, bring yourself all the way up to stand. Beautiful, bring the soles of your feet together. All right, so we're looking into a mountain pose here, a really strong, powerful standing pose, where your crown of your head is reaching towards the ceiling. And I want you to look at your toes, connect all 10 toes with the floor. Pull the energy of the power in your feet up into your shins, up into your thighs, up into the strength of your core. And then with your hands, turn your palms open. Sense the openness of your heart center. And then the fullness of each inhale is helping you feel and sense the activity and awareness of the whole torso in your body. And imagine as you exhale, you can sense your weight of your body ground into the floor. Your inhale helps you sense the fullness, the roundness, the power of your heart center and your chest, preparing you to lead you. And then your exhale helps you stay grounded, keeping that power within your body. Inhale and exhale. Good. Bring your hands to your heart center and your chin to your chest. And in your mind's eye, notice the strength in your legs, the strength in your feet, the awareness that you have fostered throughout our practice today on your breath. And let the knowledge that you have about your breath helping you to stay stable and strong be with you and support you throughout your day. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.